And looks like we're live. Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Daily Freedom. I'm your host, Fernando Lopes, and today I have the privilege, honor, so excited to be interviewing a new friend, Starry. Welcome. We're going to go right into it because you have so much to share. And one of the reasons I wanted to interview you today is because of the conversations that we've had. We've been sharing from you having a background of being a trauma therapist now, who has transformed and started doing something different that's more fulfilling with your life while getting the results you wanted to get for your clients as a trauma therapist, but now as someone with a new identity. What is that identity? Welcome. How are you?
Thank you.
Let's get right into it.
Love it. Yeah. So in all of my experience in following clients' nervous systems mindfully and somatically, I realized it's all paradox. So we kind of have to move toward or against these unconscious experiences. And so now I work as a consciousness coach to really illuminate that for people and kind of guide them into the imagination. Because in trauma work, it's really just imagining that the reality that we want instead. And so when we recognize, so there's been a lot of consciousness, like awareness, like depth from my observations. And it's been that when we allow ourselves to notice what doesn't feel good and move toward what feels better, anything is possible. Like we become magic. And so in terms of the imagination, I do a lot of consciousness immersive events now where people can play with moving toward a lot of unconscious stuff we don't ever really think about. So like playing with gender, playing with facing your fears, jumping into the dark. It's kind of like psychedelics, and it's stemming from the sexual shamanism that I've been trained in. So that's a little bit of that.
Sexual shamanism. The first time I heard that term was from you. I've been initiated in a few shamanistic, I guess you'd say, disciplines. I never heard the term sexual shamanism until I spoke with you. What is sexual shamanism? And before we get to sexual shamanism, what is shamanism for people that probably have not heard that word before?
Yeah, I think shamanism really stems from like psychedelics. For me, that has been a lot of my teacher of like how complex our connection with all of reality is. And so sexual shamanism has taught me that I don't have to have a substance in my body, that I can access it anytime. It's pretty cool. So to me, it's just shadow work. It's not even, to me personally, it's not even a lot about sexuality, in fact, even though I do a lot of conscious kink work, and it's a beautiful avenue. Like sexuality is so beautiful for accessing creativity and polarity and the unconscious. So many good things there. But for me, it's that there's something a little deeper, and it stems from Tantra, the very old, all-encompassing Tantra tradition, which goes really well with neuroscience and astrophysics and quantum mechanics. And essentially, it's recognizing that with sexual shamanism, it's like through my body, I am like an organism that is deeply complex and can access like unconscious, shadowy things and make them and own them rather than them owning me. So it's a very mindful process. And I guess to add on to what makes sexual shamanism special, it would be that like the body is sacred. And so through like touch and also imagination, there really is just magic that we can access, that I think most of us are just living in like this fear state of protection and don't realize that there's laws in the universe that we can control more.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
I want to share with you, I may or may not have shared before, that I did share regarding my experience in Tantra.
Yeah.
So I took a workshop once. It was a 2-day workshop, and it was for men to learn how to serve the feminine, similar to pujas, if anyone is familiar with the word puja, but going a little more intimate, and it was called the sacred or the yoni massage.
Mm-hmm.
And I transformed my view of women on those 2 days. I was walking on clouds for months after that. And I started telling all the men that I would encounter that I felt like, we would be friends, or we were already friends for a long time. Bro, go and register yourself into a tantra workshop and do the yoni massage. Learn how to serve the feminine through that real ritualistic, which in summary was to serve.
Yeah.
And not allow even the women to touch me.
Mm-hmm.
This is I'm your servant for the next 3 hours. And I healed a lot of misconceptions, a lot of illusions I had through Tantra. So I just want to give you the perspective to listeners and people there that if you are a man and watching this, listening, go take a yoni massage. And if you probably know where people can go and do that.
Yeah, there are places where you can learn that. I don't know right this moment. We can put it in the link.
Yeah, we'll put in the link.
It depends on the city, and there's trainings, but you can Google it.
Yeah. And I'm not going to say names here because it seems like the teacher who I took it from, it was one of the pioneers in the US. And I don't know if there's a bad rap going around. So I'm just going to say, meditate about it. Do your search.
Yeah.
The universe will bring it to you.
Yeah, so there's a lot out there. But yeah, I mean,
back on the sexual shamanism.
The yoni massage, it is an example of how we can, like, to me, it all goes together, where it's like, if we face what terrifies us, right, then we can unlock answers to mystery. And that's how it connects for me. And so I journeyed into sexuality more intentionally, like the last 5 years, probably 5 years ago. And it's been amazing to face all of those stigmas and play with like understanding how our various body parts work, and the how to get them to open and how to get them to connect, and the deep manifesting power we actually have behind those parts of us, those parts of the chakras and everything. It's, sexual energy is the most powerful energy that we have available to us, and pleasure in that way. And so if you name an intention of like, I want to buy land in Costa Rica, and then, I've had a moment where it's like the floods are coming, and like, this is the rain and coming down, I feel it, but just really it's internal. It's directing that energy,
Mm-hmm.
It can be really fun, but it's really like, just like understanding how much we can direct our energies. I think it's easy to be so suspect about it. Like, no, we can't be that like big, but we really can actually like direct our lives when we learn the laws of manifestation, and how to also release all power and all control over our own bodies and over our energy and, the broader collective, decisions. Yeah.
I love this.
It's beautiful and complex.
Yes. It reminds me of a book, I believe it's called Sex Magic, that I got on Kindle years ago. And when I was practicing in Tantra, I was like, someone said the term sex magic. And so I went and bought one of the books available. And what I got from the book was that, or a promise I made to myself, is that each orgasm from that moment forward for me would carry an intention.
Mm-hmm.
Soon.
I loved when you shared that. Yes, that's beautiful.
And to me, I guess my life purpose, everyone may have their own life purpose. My life purpose, one of the ways I put a summary into words, it would be to experience pleasure.
Mhm.
And to get to that point, one then needs security, safety, community, needs the
Yes.
basic needs met.
Yes.
So
Yes.
if I ask myself, okay, my goal is in business is to do to have so many clients or sales. If I ask myself enough whys, why do I want that? It will come because I want to have an orgasm.
Mhm. Yeah.
And then okay, and then rest, and then eat, and then be someone in the community that provides value to others in different ways, whether it's through real estate investing or whether it's through coaching. But that's been my way of like, I've been wanting to, as I read books, say the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, to find out if I'm missing something that's bigger than the orgasm part.
Yes.
And it's like, yes, I could help people to, I can help orphans. I can help, the immigrants. Like I was once an immigrant. Maybe I could still say that I am in certain countries. But it's usually like why do I want that? Why do I want that? Is so that I experience a peace enough then to experience ecstasy.
Yeah.
And one way to experience ecstasy is through orgasm.
Yeah.
So back to you.
Yeah.
Why? What happened? What's your why? Why do you do what you do?
My why has been because I want people to play with me. And by that, I mean, not just sexually at all. My therapist has asked me often enough, like, what do you want from this person? And it's always, I want them to love themselves, because that's the only way they can love me, right? Is to really like be connected to their life force and their purpose, and to have confidence that they're safe, And so I want people to play with me and not get stuck in this separateness. I've really just been recognizing through these different methods like psychedelics and sexual shamanism and consciousness stuff around playing with our reality, which trauma therapy has confirmed for me, that we really do get to be love, and we get to be awareness, and we get to choose to be safe and to notice, not bypass, but notice every time that tricky little fear wants to come in, and wants to say, oh no, I think that this isn't safe, and play with it and like acknowledge it and notice it. And then like integrate that slowly and soothe it, and often like moving toward what we need in order to do that, so that we can play and be in love more often, because it really does go in a direction of safety when we illuminate it all. Yeah, I don't remember your original question, but I know that
it was the why.
The
like,
why.
Why?
Yeah,
why do you do it? So you want people to play with you.
I do. I really do. And so I do these immersive events because the best kind of trauma therapy has taught me that it's experiential, right? Just like psychedelics, just like trauma therapy, shadow work is experiential. We got to be in it to feel it in the being, not the mind. It's important to understand what's happening going in and coming out in the mind. But there's that like experiencing the safety. So I've decided that we can play with our pain, and that's the only way. And I think that all of life is a game where it's just like, when we imagine whatever reality we wish existed, it's actually possible. We're not crazy. We get to be that powerful. So we get to play with, growing up like a different gender, like that's both healing and fun. We get to imagine stepping into our trauma experiences and taking over and saying no, and I'm going to have a different outcome. And then it's fun to imagine, Yeah. So conscious kink is a way to do that too. But I think out of the bedroom with my lovers, and with like some client conscious kink work that I do as well, there's this whole world out there, and people are craving for this acting and this playing to heal.
I love it. Could you speak a little bit to couples that are in monogamous relationships in ways that you've helped couples, or they can help, they can do what they can do, what if they feel they, they resonate with the words you're saying right now?
Absolutely. Yes. Before I was a trauma therapist, I was exclusively a couples therapist for years. And I got trained in all the therapies, and it was really rewarding to like hold the complexity of it all. And it was definitely each individual's complexity making up an ecosystem of double complexity, right? And triggers and so it's deep work, all relating, all like attachment relating, right? And so with monogamous couples, I would say that I actually have a reference for you. Go check out the podcast on Spotify. I recommend it to all my clients, called Is It Love or Is It Fear? And yeah, and it's right on the nose. It talks about how love is actually one directional and unconditional. And we
Wow.
want the best for someone, and supporting their expansion, you know and like overcoming jealousy. A lot of people nowadays are actually trying to open up too, but stay really connected. So there's so many variations here. They're all beautiful and valid, but doing it from love and not fear. So the Spotify podcast, Is It Love or Is It Fear, is by Frank Mondiose. And actually, I'll plug him. He's amazing. He's an ISTA facilitator in sexual shamanism. And you can go to his website called loveanderos.com and put in Starry as a discount code for he does like a workshop for couples, and it's called Love Without Limits. So yeah, so I highly recommend this kind of like next level consciousness relating stuff. And he really does describe it better than most that I've seen. Yeah.
I love that. So one of the last game that I adopted into my life is the game of, say, coaching parents with young children, because that's where I'm heading into my future, is calling in my life partner so that we can have a family, so I can have a family, have children.
Yeah.
What is your opinion of, say, parents doing their work, their inner work, whether it's shadow work, whether you call it something else, as it pertains to how children develop?
Yeah, that's a beautiful question. The easy answer is that's hard as fuck. It's hard. I was a step parent for many years. So I've done some of this firsthand as well with young children, but there is an answer. And the answer is, the more that you are connected to your own integration work, the more you're being vulnerable, you're learning, you're connecting to your feelings, your grief, the more you're going after like the balance of the polarity of whatever it is you didn't get that you need to get, and model that, the more your nervous system will be regulated for those children, for your partner, the more that you can model to them the human like variability, of needing to ground and then having fun and, humor and play. We access so much of the human experience, right? When we are connected to ourselves, and obviously love being the thing that when we connect to loving ourselves, that child can get what they're desperately craving and be more easily connected to themselves, even though it's their own journey ultimately, which is hard.
I
Yeah.
love that. Thank you so much, Starry. For people that want to connect with you, how can they connect with you?
Yeah. So I do consciousness coaching virtually, and I travel in my van, gave away all my things. So that's fun, mostly in California. I do immersive events. Often they're temples, and often, which means that they're kind of like sacred, like sexual experiences, and also a lot of like role play and facilitation. They don't have to be sexual though. A lot of them aren't as well. But and then I do some conscious kink work. And so to answer your question, people can contact me right now. I'm rebuilding my website. They can contact me on Instagram. So Starryverse Funhouse. Starry. And then I'll send you an appointment link. But yeah, I used all of my past experience as a trauma therapist, as a couples therapist with kink and poly. I've been poly for years. And my favorite thing about all of this is changing our reality, like giving permission to do that. I find that the coaching is quicker. I chose to be a coach instead and let go of my licenses because I didn't want to be a caretaker anymore for dependents in trauma work, which is necessary as a step. But I like challenging them a little quicker to change the channel of their reality. And it works. So like combined with the mindful, not bypassing. Yeah. Feeling it all. So yeah.
I'm so happy that I met you. Thank you.
Me too. This is great. I really appreciate you. Yeah. I love how well we jive and like you meet me in all these places. It's really nice.
Likewise. Everyone just go connect with Starry on the Instagram. And I think you're going to a different city soon to then host an event.
Yeah.
You told me a little bit about it. I
Yeah.
think it's super cool that someone, some of your friends are, they hired you to then host something special for them.
Yeah, I'm doing a New Year's Eve event in San Francisco, and a lot of the sexual shamanism community is going to be there. It's ISTA. A lot of you may have heard of ISTA before, and it's an international school of temple arts, and it's a training you go to when you're ready, when you've done enough trauma work. You can do just like psychedelics. When you've done enough trauma work, you can go deeper into the imagination and really face those fears, and it's really cool. But this event will be, so I kind of identify as like the jester archetype. I do a lot of like poems and really challenging your reality in that way, in a loving way. And so it'll be kind of this future hacking theme on New Year's. Yeah. And so a lot of my work is going to be similar, where it's just this whole journey, this whole experience. So yeah, I'll be back around San Diego for sure. I really love it here. I might make it a little bit of a home. So yeah, I'll be doing stuff.
Thank you for doing what you do. Looking forward to collaborating.
Yeah.
And everyone else, thanks for tuning in. Comment below what is one thing or two or three that you've taken away from this, something you're inspired to do, and then pick up the phone and call 1, 2, or 3 people and share what this inspiration is or something you're committed to experimenting with in your life. And be free. Be you.
I love that. Yes. Oh, so good. Face your fear and be free. That's the game of life.
That's it. Play the game of life, everyone.
Don't be afraid. We're all in it. It's fun.
Yes. Have a good morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are. And